Today we will try to define Eritrea's problems, and so we will try also to provide some solutions to the problem that exists in Eritrea. First, I want to mention one thing, that some people may think that in Eritrea we have something called civil war. We don't have a civil war. Those things mentioned by some people saying that everything was because of Islam. The simple answer is that Islam is not imposed in Eritrea, and it's simple, you can check it. First, we have to define Eritrea so we can try to figure out where's the weakness point and where's the strength. Before we go to those two things, we have to define the country. The country is made up of 9 ethnic groups. It's having 2 religions. Those 9 ethnic groups live in a peaceful. Now, here we will start to define the problem. Eritrea's problem falls into, or in the worst the country have been through since the day it was created. A war against Ethiopia, which was a fight for independence which lasted for 30 years. A war against Yemen, and a dispute over 2 islands. And this was the war against Yemen, then Sudan, then Ethiopia, then for different reasons, then again Ethiopia, then again and Djibouti, and so on. Now, Eritrean president, or Mr. Isaias Afwerki, since independent, made it through all those wars. Almost he made it through along with his people. As we know, wars simply result into famine, death, and destruction. To tackle this one, it needs strong economy led by an intelligent person having a strong nationalistic feeling. Here comes the problem. Isaiah's solution includes the following: unlimited national service, nobody is allowed to leave the nation, and self-reliance policy. This one led to a few sources of hard currency, which include 2 things. 1, 2% tax paid by Eritreans living abroad, and mainly those who are living in Europe and North America. Bisha, the second one, which is Bisha gold mining industry. Those are the strength the Eritrean economy depends on. And the wars created lots of weakness. Here comes the question: who's responsible for such failure? Are they Isaias and his close companions, which includes Yamana Gebra'ab, Yamana Gebra'Meskal, Hagos Kisha, and Osman Saleh? What's common in between those people? Why do they love to deny everything, including political prisoners, asylum seekers, as the country's citizens? Instead, why do they call them as African asylum seekers? Are they really Eritreans? Well, where are they from originally if they're not Eritreans? After lots of investigation, we found out that Isaias is not Eritrean, and so are his assistants. They came from Ethiopia, a place called Tigray. They don't care about anything else except how to survive in power. They see things as if they are foreigners. Anyway, everyone can rule a nation or a country if he or she is qualified and capable of ruling the nation regardless of his or her origin. Here, Isaias lacks the capability by all means. He failed to make it through. The economy is weak, freedom of speech is absent, freedom of religion is totally not allowed, and freedom of movement, as mentioned, is assumed to be forbidden. So, let's try to figure out the solution. When we come to solution, Simply we need change. Simply is the answer that List has to retire. 1. Being appreciated for everything he has done to Eritrea. There should be an introduction of a constitution, an introduction of parliament, and improvements on his or the coming government's policies. We're not saying that we need to have a new party. The party and the government and the policies should say the way education is being followed. It's so good. The country is moving forward. Health services is going well. What's lacking behind is the source of income for the nation. The nation has something, should have something to depend on. So there is also something called talks instead of fight. Now, what I mean here is that instead of fighting against neighboring countries, talk and solve the problem. Now, we've seen the problems that 4 men from Tigray are punishing people and pushing things to such negative results which are unavoidable. Now imagine if we have 4 million people from Tigray. 1. 2. Do we see civil war in Eritrea? We don't see civil war in Eritrea. Muslims and Christians believe, trust each other. They respect each other. I will tell you a small story that happened to me. I saw it in Asmara when I visited Eritrea. They saw a Muslim praying in the street. The adults came and asked children not to walk in front of him. This shows you the respect in between those 2 religions. And when I asked them, why is he doing, are they protecting this Muslim? They said this is a norm, this is a culture in between people. They do respect each other. Well, it shows you to what extent those people are, they do love each other, they stick to each other, they feel like they have the same problem, they try to solve it. Our message is simple. We need change. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.